Hi everybody, today we're going to talk to you quickly about the correct way to sit up while you're at home. A lot of you are stuck at home right now, working from home. These are a few good tips that are going to really help take some pressure off of your low back while you're working from home. Whether you're working on the couch or you're working in a chair that's just not like your office chair, use these tips to help out with your low back pain. Now the first thing that we see all the time in the clinic when people are sitting is inevitably this happens to us as gravity takes over. And what we're looking at specifically is the head coming out in space over top of the shoulder. So if you look at my ears versus my shoulders, it's pretty clear that my head is sticking out in space. So the first thing that we want to do to take a lot of pressure off the neck that leads to tension type headaches is bring the head back over top of the shoulders. Now, a little cheat code here, an easy way to do that is just draw the stomach forward. When you draw the stomach forward, a few things are going to happen. There's going to be a nice hollow in your low back, your shoulders slide back, and your head slides back over top of your shoulders. Now, sitting like this for a long time with a nice hollow in the low back, shoulders back, head back, can fatigue muscles if you're sitting for 6 to 8 to 10 hours a day. So what we want to do, when we have a chair that doesn't have the best back support like this one here, is we want to put something right above the belt line, whether it's a rolled up towel or a lumbar support. They make lumbar rolls specifically for this. We want to put that right above the belt line to draw the stomach forward, allow that nice hollow to be in the low back and take pressure off those spinal disc joints. So to demonstrate that, I have a little foam block here that will do the trick, and I'm going to put that right above my belt line so you can see that. And now when I'm sitting, it's just going to provide me with the posture that I need to sit with throughout the day without straining all those extra muscles. So 3 quick tips to make sure you're sitting up straight at home. Draw the head back over the shoulders, roll the shoulders back, and pull the stomach forward. Seated posture, your standing posture is equally as important. And it can also have a dramatic effect on your spine if you're doing it all day long. So a lot of you at home have been seated throughout the day. Some of you may have incorporated a standing desk into your homework regimen, which is great. We love to see that positional change throughout the day. A few quick tips for standing that we see in our clinic that we want to counteract. So one thing that we always see in the clinic as people are working throughout the day, or as they're standing, or as they're holding their children at home, is the leg over and a pelvic shift. Now this leads to an unlevel pelvis, and usually when people do this, they tend to do it to one side more than the other. So if you're shifting, putting all that weight onto one hip, that can stress that hip over time and lead to some changes in the spine. One way to counteract that, widen the base a little bit. Now when you're standing or you're working or you're doing your dishes, yeah, you can have a little bit of a shift, but it's not going to be nearly as dramatic or as much stress on the pelvis as when the feet are closer together. So widen that center of gravity a little bit. And another thing, just like sitting, standing can be really hard on your back too. The opposite problem happens when standing. Instead of around, usually what will happen is the stomach will come further forward, which this position can also harm the back. So if you're noticing some tightness throughout the day, lean forward and get some flexion in there to help loosen up the back and widen the base.
Your lifting posture is very important. When you go to pick up an object, whether it's heavy or light, it doesn't matter. We want to have really good posture for this. So whether you're picking up the rock that we're going to do here or a pencil, you can still throw out your back if you don't have the right posture while doing so. So I'm going to demonstrate it for you here. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what it looks like. What we want you to do, we want you to keep feet hip width distance apart. We want you to be right over the object. Your center of gravity should be right over it. Next, I want you to bend at the knees like this and not at the back. So we don't want you bending like that. So bend at the knees. You're going to bend at the hips just a little bit. You're going to keep the back nice and straight. And you're going to keep your eyes focused on what you're going to pick up and your core engaged. So just like that. Good. So what a lot of us do, we don't really engage the glutes at all. So your glutes and your legs should be what are pushing you up to lift that object, not your back. So a lot of what we see is this motion here. that is really bad. You're putting all that pressure on that low back, and that's why you're getting some of that pain. So one more time, we're gonna bend at the knees, we're gonna bend at the hips, and we're gonna look at our objects, lift with our legs, and bring the object close to us. But many of you don't know what your sleeping posture is like. You don't really pay attention to it. You lay down at night and you're just trying to fall asleep. But it is just as important as those two are. When you sleep at night, the position that your body is in, your muscles start to relax and your ligaments are what are holding your joints together. So when you're in that relaxed position, if you're sleeping in a bad posture, it puts a lot of stress on those joints. So we're going to cover a couple of positions of good posture to sleep in. The first one we're going to do is lay on your back. Many of you may sleep on your back already, but you may wake up with pain in your back. Here's one tip that you can do to change that. So I want you to take a pillow, I want you to lay on your back, and I want you to put the pillow underneath your knees here and relax. That should take pressure off your low back. It's rounding the pelvis just a little bit and bringing the hips up. And when we do that, we take that pressure off the low back. It's no longer that curved hollow. The next thing that I would like to do is the side posture. So I'm gonna have you lay on your side, and I want you to stick this pillow in between your knees. And I want your knees to be bent at a 45-degree angle. I don't want them at 90. That 45 degree is nice relaxing. This puts our pelvis in alignment and our hips stacked on top of each other. And we're not putting a stress on this muscle here or that low back. One sleeping posture I want you to completely avoid is sleeping on your stomach. When you sleep on your stomach, your neck is forced into a position that is very uncomfortable. That can lead to a whole bunch of issues down the line and cause you a lot of neck pain. So the two positions are to lay on your back with a pillow below your knees, or lay on your side with a pillow in between your knees.